I'm Yoly Heisler, and we're in the Akronist studio with Eddie Sipplen, who's running for mayor of Akron. Welcome to the studio, Eddie.
Thank you for having me, Yoly.
Thank you for joining us and answering our questions. Let's get right to it.
Okay.
Akron is a very eccentric city. What makes you uniquely qualified to be mayor of Akron?
Well, the answer is very simple. One, when you look at my background, I can relate to people whether they come from poverty or affluence. I grew up in deep South Georgia where I grew up poor. We were on welfare. We got off of welfare, and through hard work and a good education, it's taken me to where I am here today. Now, having said that, at the end of the day, what I realize is that as a person, take out the credentials, which I do have the right credentials. I have a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from Clark Atlanta University. I have an MBA in Finance and a Master of Tax degree from the University of Akron. And I also have a law degree from Cleveland State, Cleveland Marshall College of Law. And I've worked for 20 plus years in corporate America solving financial and tax problems. So what it means is that from a financial standpoint of what the city needs is that they need someone who understands the city's finances and can come up with new and creative solutions. Now, of the candidates that are running, I'm the only one that brings practical real-world experience to the situation. Now, on the social side of things, I've been in the trenches defending everyone's rights, whether they were blue collar, white collar, and a lot of the social issues that are now being addressed. In many of the instances, I was the lone person raising them by myself. Before there were cameras, before there were town halls, I was in the trenches fighting to make sure that there was fundamental fairness for everyone. So from that perspective, I understand people, I understand finances, I understand taxes. So what makes me uniquely qualified to be mayor are the credentials and the real world experiences that I bring to the table.
Some very good points. There seems to be some confusion as to what a mayor does, especially in the city of Akron, where we have the mayor's court and we have the city council. Can you tell me what the mayor's duties are in regards to policy and city council?
Well, the mayor's job as the leader, the man at the top shapes the character of the people up under them. And the mayor's primary role is to appropriately manage the city's resources. And in order to do that, Akron needs not only a CEO, but you need a leader. And in part of being a leader, it means knowing where and how to make the appropriate decisions, knowing where and how to use the resources, and setting the tone, setting the policy, and setting the standard that everybody is expected to live up to. And the standard that I have is based upon my mission and vision. My mission is to build a better Akron. The vision is to make Akron a great place to live, work, and raise a family. That's why I moved to Akron. When I came here, we could have lived anywhere, but we fell in love with Akron and we've made Akron our home. But the role of the mayor is to help manage the resources of the city in a cost-efficient manner so that all of the citizens benefit from it. And from what we've experienced over the past 30 some odd years, that has not been the case.
Okay, so a lot of people think of Akron as being a very affordable place to live in. But our demographic is getting older and older. You moved in here with your family. How would you attract more people like that, younger people who are here, keep them rooted, not only while they're going to school, but while they're raising their children, sending them off to college, into their retirement?
Well, the biggest issue when you look at the mission statement of building a better Akron and the vision of making Akron a great place to live, work, and raise a family, this is where I'm distinguished from anyone who's going to be running against me in the general election. You have to understand, in order to attract jobs, you have to have an environment that is conducive for the employees to live in. So in order to attract the people, we've got to make Akron raise the standard of living for the people in the city of Akron. And that's part of my budgeting priorities, is to put people first and our neighborhoods first. Yes, we need a vibrant downtown, but the way it's been done, it's been one or the other. We can do both at the same time, but my ultimate priority will be on the people and the neighborhoods. When you raise the quality of living for all of Akron's residents, other people are going to want to come and live here, because one of the things major employers look for is that if they're going to have happy employees, and the only way you can get happy employees is if the employees have an environment when they're outside of work that they can grow and thrive and explore their personal interests, whether it's biking, going on a trail, going to restaurants, bars, whatever it may be. You've got to raise the standard of living of the people first to make it attractive for them to come in, because that's what employers look for. And you cannot bring jobs in if your city looks like a tenement, plain and simple. So my priority will be to put money into the people and the neighborhood. And one of the frustrating parts is that politicians tell you what they're going to do when they get in office. Well, my competitors have been in office. What have they done for the people thus far?
Okay, so you're talking about making the city more attractive, more walkable. But what about workability? The ability to work in the city you live in, or close enough to the city you live in?
Well, in terms of workability, Akron, first of all, doesn't have a traffic problem. But the types of jobs that I'm talking about, first of all, you got to look at why our young people are leaving. One, there are no jobs that meet their skill sets. Our schools need to be improved, because in order to attract employers there, in part of my vision of making Akron a great place to live and work a family, we've definitely got to invest in our young people. And the best way to invest in them is by raising the standards of our education system. Because when people look to move to Akron, one of the first questions that they ask, what are the school systems like? And we've got to raise that standard. The second thing is we've got to raise the level of safety. We've got to have a strong safety force. But when it comes to workability, yes, when you address the livability issue, the workability issue pretty much solves itself, because now you're going to want people moving into the downtown areas. And what it's going to require as mayor is for me to reevaluate the downtown policies and legislation and projects to see which ones have worked, which ones haven't, which ones can we maybe reinvent or make work in a little bit, because there are some good ideas out there. But we've got to invest first and foremost in the people and our neighborhoods, and everything else. It's not a matter of build it and they will come. No, we have to change our philosophy and way of thinking, and that comes into making sure that we have policies and procedures that meets the goal of building a better Akron and making Akron a great place to live and work a family.
Thank you, Eddie. Is there anything you would like to add?
Yes. One of the things that you didn't ask me about is one of the things from having my town hall meetings, there are a couple of things that have been hot and heavy on the citizens' mind. One, getting our streets and roads paved without getting hit with an additional assessment. Well, my solution to that is we collect a lot of tax revenues that are designed for the street maintenance and repair. Let's use the money for what it was collected for. The second issue, and this is something that the other candidates have put out, is that their first priority is to address the sewer issue when they become mayor. My question is, well, why didn't they address it when they were on city council? And this sewer issue is nothing new. It's been going on for a number of years. Both of my opponents were on council. They ignored it, and now that they want to become mayor, they want to make it a priority when it should have been a priority when it first reared its ugly head. The third thing that we need to address, and it is the community police relations. We need to take a proactive approach towards building that. I'm the only person that's uniquely qualified. I've been in the trenches working with the people, protecting their rights, and at every juncture, it's been about accountability, and when you hold people accountable for their actions, then we can have an open dialogue. And another important issue that I will put on the table, and I know that the other candidates are now trying to say it, but it came from me first, is that I will put the city's checkbook online so that at the end of the day, you can check to see where your money is being spent, down to the checkbook level as to who it's going to, because in order to restore the people.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you very much for meeting with us and answering our questions. I'm Yoly Heisler in the Akronist studio, and thank you for watching.